The Zmiris, one of the Zmiris Shabbos Kodesh, that was Neschaber by the Ibn Ezra, Ki Eshmer Shabbos. So we say, middle of the Zmiris, we say, Alkein lis anos boy alpi nevoinav aser. There's an Isser to fast on Shabbos. Levad mi Yom Kippur oini. In other words, besides Yom Kippur, it's talking about a Yom Kippur shechaliyos b'Shabbos, a year like this year, then not only you're allowed to fast, you're mechuyev to fast. Be'ez Hashem, in today's Shiur, we're going to focus on the Piskei Dinim, the halachas that are negeya, in particular for this year, for Yom Kippur shechaliyos b'Shabbos, for this Yom Kippur Abba Aleinu L'Tova. The first din that's negeya is already mashpia on tomorrow, Friday, Erev Yom Kippur, Erev Shabbos. Being that on Yom Kippur, we don't say Avinu Malkeinu, besides Ne'ilah, we'll see why Ne'ilah is different, but you don't say Avinu Malkeinu this Yom Kippur. Usually you say Avinu Malkeinu, Ma'ariv, Shachris, and Mincha, but you don't say it. One of two reasons. Either you don't say Avinu Malkeinu. The reason not to say Avinu Malkeinu is because Avinu Malkeinu has Yutches, these 18 Avinu Malkeinus connected the Shemoneh Esrei, and on Shabbos we don't have the Shemoneh Esrei, the Yutches Shemoneh Esrei. If Yom Kippur is Chaliyas B'Choyel, so even though you're davening or Yom Kippur davening, but it's the connected the Choyel, the Yutches Brachas on Shabbos, it's not applicable. And another reason is because of Bakashas. You don't say Bakashas on Shabbos. Now, for the second reason, very good. Lamaisa, as we'll see, Behemshech, Yom Kippur Avada Yisei Bakashas. That's what the whole Yom Kippur is about, even on Shabbos. So the Aruch HaShulchan says that Pasha to make a hecker that at Shabbos means Be'etzem. We say all Bakashas. We would say Avinu Malkeinu as well, also to make a hecker. Others say that the reason why we don't say Avinu Malkeinu because it's not in the davening, it's out of the davening, it's afterwards. Let's say by Ma'ariv or even Shachris or Mincha, it's after Chazar Sashatz. By Ma'ariv, it's not Chazar Sashatz, even though it's a long Ma'ariv, a good long Ma'ariv, but that's not Chazar Sashatz. But Avinu Malkeinu is afterwards. So Mamela, even though we taka Yom Kippur is all full of bakashos, even on Shabbos, but only within the davening, not afterwards. But Al-Kapanim, we don't say Avinu Malkeinu on Shabbos. Being so that we're not going to say Avinu Malkeinu this Shabbos Yom Kippur, Memela Erev Yom Kippur. Erev Yom Kippur, you don't say Avinu Malkeinu. Even though we say now Aseret Yimei Tshuva, Shachris and Mincha, Avinu Malkeinu. Erev Yom Kippur on a regular year, you don't say Avinu Malkeinu, not Shachris and not Mincha. However, this year, Shachris, tomorrow morning, Friday, Erev Yom Kippur, we're going to say Avinu Malkeinu. Hadlokas Neiris. Yeah, we're going into Yom Kippur tomorrow. Hadlokas Neiris. The brachas lahadlak neir shel Shabbos v'shel Yom Kippur. If somebody forgets one of them, it's a separate discussion, not for right now. Shouldn't forget. On a regular year, there's a shaila. We spoke about it last year here in the Kollel, actually. There's a shaila. There's a machloikis if you madlak neiris for Yom Kippur. There's a machloikis. The question is, why these neiris? Is it applicable Yom Kippur? And be'etzem, if you don't light neiris for Erev Yom Kippur, lighting now, you're only really lighting for Shabbos, and technically you would only say lahadlik neir shel Shabbos. However, the minig, I think by most, by a lot, is you light every Erev Yom Kippur, even when it's Chal B'Choyel. So Mela, now that we're lighting, you say lahadlik neir shel Shabbos v'shel Yom Kippur. Agav, just important, I'm the Gabbai in a Shul on Yom Kippur, and I make this announcement. The Rav asks me to make the announcement that the Shechiyanu that we make in Shul in the beginning of Yom Kippur, if the ladies or whoever ben shlichta made a Shechiyanu then doesn't make again a Shechiyanu in Shul. It's important. The ladies that come for Kol Nidre and the whole Shul is making a Shechiyanu, the Giyanu Lazman Azeh, if you made it by Hadlakas Neiris, that was the Shechiyanu. Kabbalah Shabbos. It's very interesting. There are 3 Shitas in Kabbalah Shabbos tomorrow night. Leil Yom Kippur. The first Shita, let's call it the simplest Shita, is that it's a regular Kabbalah Shabbos, like every Yom Tif Shechal Yos B'Shabbos. Yom Kippur wouldn't be different. And Nusach Ashkenaz only says Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbos. Nusach Svard starts already from Mizmor LeDavid before L'Chadaydi. You say L'Chadaydi, the first pieces and the last, like a regular Yom Tov Shechal Yos B'Shabbos. That's the first Shita. Let's call it the simple Shita. Then comes the Shari Tshuva in Hilchas Shabbos, in Siman Reish Ayin, says that on a Yom Tov Shechal Yos B'Shabbos is like what we said. However, Yom Kippur Shechal Yos B'Shabbos, you do not say L'Chadaydi. For Nusach Ashkenaz, it's not relevant because you anyway start later. But if you start Mizmor LeDavid and a regular Yom Tov Shechal Yos B'Shabbos, you say L'Chadaydi. He says over here, you do not say L'Chadaydi. Why not? Why not? He says the reason why you say L'Chadaydi is because of the Neshama Yisera that we get on every Shabbos. Yom Kippur, even when it's Shabbos, there's no Neshama Yisera. Again, a separate discussion, but there is no Neshama Yisera. But mainly you don't say L'Chadaydi. So it's different than a regular Yom Tov Shechal Yos B'Shabbos. You don't say L'Chadaydi. Why? Because L'Chadaydi is because of the Neshama Yisera, and we don't get a Neshama Yisera. This that we don't get a Neshama Yisera is a big shaila. It's a big shaila. The Mishnah Brura and the Sharat Tzion discussed it already, which we're going to get to Bez Hashem at the end of the Shiur, Lagabi B'Sam and Motzi Yom Kippur. These are shaila. These are shaila if there's a Neshama Yisera this Shabbos, Yom Kippur Shechal Yos B'Shabbos. We'll get into it a little bit more, Lagabi Mitot Halin B'Samim. The Elef HaMogen brings this, and he says that L'Chadaydi has nothing to do with the Neshama Yisera, and Memela, he says that it's neged ha-seichel. It's neged ha-seichel to say that Yom Kippur, which is a Haisafas Kedusha, should be goyrim that there's no Neshama Yisera. So Mela, there is a Neshama Yisera. However, he says that it's not the reason why we say L'Chadaydi has nothing to do with Neshama Yisera. So firstly, he says there is a Neshama Yisera. He's the one who argues there is a Neshama Yisera, and then he says it's nothing to do with the Neshama Yisera. Avada, there is a Neshama Yisera, and you say it on the Yom. Navos, however, there are those that say that you don't say it. So to be very clear, the first Shita holds Kabbalah Shabbos like a regular Yom Tov Shechal Yos B'Shabbos. The second Shita is that you just leave out L'Chadaydi, and yet the third Shita is he brings the Elef HaMateh on the Mateh Ephraim brings that there's no Kabbalah Shabbos B'chlal. There is no Kabbalah Shabbos, Leil Yom Kippur Shechal Yos B'Shabbos. So there's 3 Shitas. In Shailas Tshuvas Tzvilat Tzaddik, he's Mayrach, he goes through, he's masber the different Shitas, and he ends off Nahara Pashta, whatever the minig is. But Al Kaponim, you'll come to Shul, so whatever they do will be right, but you'll know that he's different than Hagim. For those, and for many that have the minig, yes, to be to Kabbalah Shabbos tomorrow night, Friday night, Leil Yom Kippur, what's the Seder? Is it first Kabbalah Shabbos and then Kol Nidre, or is it Kol Nidre and then Kabbalah Shabbos? The Mateh Ephraim and the Chassam Sofer both say that it's Kol Nidre first. Tefillah Zakeh, and Yimakabal, Reini Makabal, the Chamishinuyim, and Kol Nidre and Shechiyanu, that's all Kabbalah's Yom Kippur, and then afterwards Makabal Shabbos. And I think that's across the board the minig Ashkenaz, to first start with Kol Nidre and then Kabbalah Shabbos. Me'idach, Reb Kiveger says not like his son-in-law, the Chassam Sofer. Reb Kiveger says in Tshuvas, in Chelik Dalet, Reb Kiveger says is first Kabbalah Shabbos and then Kol Nidre. First of all, because Tadr Koidem, Smeil Kabbalah Shabbos is first. And Va'oid, he says that you're not going to be able to, Ein Issa Chalal Issa, you're not going to be able to be Moisef. Yom Kippur has more what to be Moisef on Shabbos. Why? Because Yom Kippur has the Chamash Shinuyim. If a person's Makabel Shabbos first, tomorrow, late afternoon, he's Makabel Shabbos, so he has Kedusha Shabbos. On top of the Kedusha Shabbos, he can be Moisef Yom Kippur, the Chamash Shinuyim. So therefore, Reb Kiveger says, first Kabbalah Shabbos, and then Kol Nidre Shechiyona Kabbalah Yom Kippur. And I think that's the minig by the Svardim. By Kol Nidre, we take out the Sifrei Torah. So the matter, if it's Kabbalah Shabbos and then Kol Nidre, like what Reb Kiveger says, so you Makabel Shabbos, and then after Kabbalah Shabbos, then you take out the Sifrei Torah for Kol Nidre. What's about the opposite? If you take out the Kol Nidre first and you take out the Sifrei Torah, so Dr. Mate Ephraim, you put back the Sifrei Torah after Kol Nidre, and then afterwards it's Kabbalah Shabbos. Since it's Shabbos, it's Yom Kippur Shechaliyos b'Shabbos, and these are mitzvahs asay doiraisa of Kiddush. Zok Reb Kiveger in two places, Sai in Hilchas Kiddush, and Sai over here in Yom Kippur, that by davening, you say Mekadosh HaShabbos, Mekadosh HaShabbos, we yoytze the mitzvahs asay doiraisa of Kiddush. Tomorrow night, Friday night, you makayim the mitzvah say the rice of Kiddush. And the emes says, it's almost mefurish already in the Toises Rid and Arvi Psachim. He's speaking about if you don't have a kois, how you makayim the rice. And he also brings in, K'mo Yom Kippur shechal liyos b'Shabbos, that you yoytze by davening. Being that you yoytze the mitzvah say the rice of Kiddush, of Shabbos, the Friday night Kiddush by davening, Zok Reb Kiveger, you should make sure to be machaven tomorrow night. By davening, when you say Mekadosh HaShabbos, that you want to be mekayim the mitzvahs asay deraisa, mitzvahs tzviches kavanah, you have to be machaven. They bring the Rabbi Yosef Chaim Sonnenfeld, by him, and they made an announcement before to have a mind. It is interesting that the Chassam Sofer holds that actually every Yom Kippur, there's a mitzvah of Kiddush, like every Yom Tif, and Memeli you should be machaven by every Yom Kippur, by davening Kiddush. But le'inyaneinu, that it's Shabbos, Yom Kippur shechal liyos b'Shabbos, you should have a mind, Dr. Kiveger, to makayim the mitzvah say of Kiddush. Being that it's Shabbos, just like Yom Tif, when it's Yom Tif shechal liyos b'Shabbos, a person has to remember to be masker shel Shabbos during davening of Yom Kippur, these pieces that are middle of Shabbos, and if you forget, you're not masker Shabbos at all, you have to daven over. Once you mention a little bit, there's already, how much is a little bit, what's the minimal that you mention, but you have to mention Shabbos, if not, you have to daven over. These are machloikis, the Mishabura brings it. These are machloikis. First about the Ba'ava. Obviously, we could follow the Machzer, and whatever the Machzer says, but it's kedai to know. Vatitan lanu Hashem Elokeinu B'Ava. So on a regular year, B'Avas Yom Kippur Mazeh. But then it says, V'limcha b'es kol avayneseinu, again B'Ava. So there are those, the Mishabur brings, the Levush says you don't say B'Ava, but my set's a machloikis. But then there's another part over here, where there's a shaila that the Levush also says to take out, Elokeinu v'Elokei Avosseinu b'chol avonoseinu b'yom HaShabbos is b'yom Kippur. Of course, you say. Then you stick in again. Elokeinu v'Elokei Avosseinu ritzeina b'menuchaseinu with the menucha. Zok the Lavush that you don't say it. You don't say b'menuchaseinu because Yom Kippur is not a yom menucha. Shabbos is a yom menucha. Yom Kippur is a yom inui. I think it was last year we spoke about it. That Yom Kippur is not a sad day. It's not like Tisha B'Av. Yom Kippur is a very happy day. We say Shechayonu. It's a Yom you have to have Simcha. But it's not a day of Menucha. It's not a day of being, if the right word is relaxed, Menucha. It's a day of Inui. So mainly you don't say it. However, those that argue the big day Yesha, Pirush on the Shulchan Aruch, he says, you do say it. Because he says, this is the Menucha Shleima that we're Betuach, that with Yom Kippur, the Rebbeinu Shlem's Moichel our Avoinus, so mainly we say it, Avada. What more peace and Menuchas HaNefesh could a person have to know that he's Zoichet to go through Yom Kippur and have the Kaparas Avoinus? So you do say it. So the Maisa, it's a Machloikis. It's a Machloikis. Reb Shlomo Zalman says that even those that don't say it, however, the Elokeinu v'Elokei Avosseinu you do say. I don't know if you'll find this all in the Machsa, but at least you'll know. Elokeinu v'Elokei Avosseinu. So even if you don't say Ritzeinu b'menuchaseinu, Elokeinu v'Elokei Avosseinu, Katcheinu b'mitzvaysecha. Later on, after Shemoneh Esrei, these Vayichulu, these Mogen Avos, you say HaMelech HaKadosh, like we mentioned last week, these twice HaMelech HaKadosh and Mogen Avos, because we said it, Shabbos Shuvah and Yom Kippur. We had it last year also on Rosh Hashanah Shechaliyas b'Shabbos. But Al Kapanim, if you take a look over here, it does say Menucha, and there, though the Derech HaChaim says that you take it out over there also, it's less than minig and brought to take it out, and for that it's explained because Mogen Avos is the Nusach HaTfil of every Friday night. So for that we don't change. We're saying the Nusach HaTfil of every Friday night, as opposed to when the davening is Yom Kippur, to put into the Yom Kippur Shemoneh Esrei Ritzeinu b'menuchaseinu, that you don't do. So even if you take it out, you don't say it. You just don't put it in on a Yom Kippur Shechaliyas b'Shabbos. For after Vayichulu Mogen Avos, you're going to say it. So we said you say Vayichulu, you say Mogen Avos. For Nusach Svard that says Mizmor LeDavid, and then Baruch Hu, Leil Yom Kippur, you do not say it because you don't need a Baruch Hu because people don't come late. Yom Kippur by day. Before, by taking out the Sefer Torah before laning, so these Yud Gimel Midas and the Yiratzin. So on a Yom Tov, we say it on Yom Tov as well also, different Yiratzin, but we say the Yud Gimel Midas. Yom Tov Shechaliyas b'Shabbos, we do not say it. There's no tefillas, no bakashas, you don't say Yud Gimel Hashem Hashem. However, Yom Kippur, even if it's Chaliyos b'Shabbos, you'd say it, as they explained, the Poskim of the Matei Ephraim, the others say, we just last Friday night, after Shemoneh Esrei, we said a bunch of times Yud Gimel Midas, Avadi, Yom Kippur, you say many times over Yud Gimel Midas, you'll say it, Avadi, you say it before by taking out the Sefer Torah as well also. Though I did see that some actually say not to say it, could be it's more the pashtus, maybe yet to say, but Al Kapanim, if you say it, is because we say Hashem Hashem throughout Yom Kippur. Another change being that Yom Kippur is Chaliyas b'Shabbos, the Aliyas on Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur is the only time that there's 6 Aliyas. Yom Tov is 5, Shabbos is 7, Yom Kippur is 6. Yom Kippur Shechaliyos b'Shabbos, we lane 7. It's a big, a lot of shuls that they sell the aliyas. It's absolutely more income. You have 7 aliyas. Talking about income for the shul of selling aliyas, on Shabbos these haisafas, could you make haisafas this Yom Kippur? Let's say we're not going to get carried away with making a bunch of haisafas, but there are many places that make every single Shabbos a haisafa achron. So could you make a haisafa this Yom Kippur? So the Levush, the Etzim says, it's a pella to say that Yom Kippur Shechaliyas b'Shabbos should minimize than a regular Shabbos. On a regular Shabbos, you make a achron, you add an aliyah. Yom Kippur, you can't add an aliyah. And the Emes says, there's a whole Tshuvas Chassam Sofer about it. Speaks about Taka. There was a Kehila, and they stood up against the Rav. So first, at the beginning of the Tshuva, he speaks about that's not the Mahalach. The first thing you have to know is Shalom. So that's in the beginning of the Tshuva. That's where he starts off. And then he goes through that why shouldn't you be able to add another aliyah on Shabbos of Yom Kippur? With what is Yom Kippur being memayit that you shouldn't be able to add aliyahs? Yom Kippur, these 6 aliyahs. But on Shabbos, we're talking laning 7. So for laning 7, Hilchah Shabbos, you could add more. Lamaisa, the Pashta says not to be Moisef. And Zok the Magen Avram, the reason why not to be Moisef is because each aliyah ends off b'mili de kapara. You'll see by the laning, it ends off with kapara. So Mamela, to have each, to be ma'orer, the Indian of kapara and Yom Kippur, we keep the aliyahs the way it is, the 7 aliyahs, to end every aliyah with the kapara, and that's why we don't. But be'etzem mehilchas haisafis, you could add on another aliyah. For the Misha Beirach, after Misha Beirach l'chayla, this is negayah to the Gabi of the Shul. I guess this is also Zok the Mata Ephraim. On a regular Shabbos, it's different than Misha Beirach than, let's say, B'chayil, because you say Shabbos milizoik, meaning to say is, you're not zoyik b'Shabbos. Like the Mata Ephraim, what do we do all Yom Kippur long? We're being zoyik even on Shabbos. So mainly you do not put in the nusach, this nusach. Birchas Haftorah, in the Haftorah of Yom Kippur, like every Shabbos, Yom Tov Shechaliyas b'Shabbos, the last bracha al Torah al Avodim al Viyam al Yom HaShabbos. Of course, you put in Shabbos, and as well also by the Siyam bracha. Besides Yom Kippur, you put in Shabbos. You say you can Purkon, when you put the Sefer Torah back, it's Mizmai LaDavid, like a Shabbos. Musav of Karbonos, the Musav, we put in Karbonos of Shabbos, as well as also by the Avodah. There are some places that only the Shliach Tzibur is the one that does Nefilas Apayim when it's Chaliyas b'Shabbos. Birchas Kahanim. The Poiskim, the Shiur brings in Hilchas Birchas Kahanim, bring that there is a minig that Yom Tov Shechaliyas b'Shabbos, there's no Birchas Kahanim. However, Zog in the Poiskim, the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch spells it out mafurish that Avada Yom Kippur Shechaliyas b'Shabbos there is Birchas Kahanim, and Rav Moshe in Tshuva goes on to explain. He goes for the different reasons why you would not do chen on Yom Kippur on Yom Tov Shechaliyas b'Shabbos. But be'ikr le'inyanenu, to take out one point, not to go through the whole Tshuva, Moridika, he goes why it would be a chalak, and he says, why don't you say Yom Tov Shechaliyas b'Shabbos? Why is there a minig not to duchen? Because you might come to say the Yiratzin by Birchas the Yiratzin. Lamaisa, a lot the minig is you duchen Yom Tov Shechaliyas b'Shabbos, but you don't say the Yiratzin. But the minig not to duchen b'chlal, one of the reasons is because of the Yiratzin. Zoktra Moshe, no Yom Kippur Shechaliyas b'Shabbos. What's going to happen if you come to say the Yiratzin? He doesn't say in the Tshuva that you say the Yiratzin, but he says, what's going to happen if you come to say the Yiratzin? The whole time Yom Kippur is Bakashas Rachmim, the whole Yom Kippur. So the Yiratzin as well also. He doesn't say Lamaisa to say it, he's explaining why the minig across the board is yes to duchen on Yom Kippur, Shechaliyas b'Shabbos. By Mincha, you don't say Vanis Filasi when you take out the Sefer Torah. There's always Kriyas HaTorah of Mincha. You don't say Vanis Filasi, you don't say Tzidkascha. Nusach Svard that says of Harachman, Micha Moicha by the second bracha, Shabbos Mincha to say Shabbos Shuva, and the same also now Shabbos Yom Kippur, you say Av HaRachmim. Nusach Ashkenaz always says Av HaRachmim. Nusach Sfard says Av HaRachman. Shabbos by Mincha, you say Av HaRachmim. Agav by Ne'ilah, you always say Av HaRachmim. By Ne'ilah, you masker in the Shmoneh Esrei of Ne'ilah of Shabbos, even though the Ne'ilah goes into Bayit and Hashorah Chazar Sashat, you still masker Shal Shabbos. Why? Since you started in the Bayit Yom.
Are you supposed to have the sheet start earlier this year? Shabbos?
I didn't see that anybody says that you should start Ne'ilah earlier. Even Ne'ilah regularly, and you're going to end whatever time you end it, it's already deep into Bein HaShmoshes, you could still mention Shabbos. The Chazar Sashatz, the Chazan is saying it, it's already ganz, by the end over there, it's a few minutes before the end, it could be almost night, maybe some places even it runs a little late. It is night. We mentioned before that you do not say Avinu Malkeinu this Yom Kippur, being that it's Shabbos. However, this year, however, Ne'ilah, you're going to say Avinu Malkeinu. So the Levush says the reason why you say Avinu Malkeinu, because it's not Shabbos anymore. Avinu Malkeinu is mamash at the end of Ne'ilah. It's already not Shabbos, it's at least Bein HaShmoshes. Even in Eretz Yisrael, in places that they want to duchen by Ne'ilah, and they finish, duchening is mamash by the shki, before the shkia, but Avinu Malkeinu is already afterwards, so Mamela it's already Bein HaShmoshes, Mamela you say Avinu Malkeinu. The Magen Avram says, I think the Lashon Nirali, that even it's Meboid Yom, you still say it. Why do you say it? Why is Ne'ilah different? So the Machzah Shekel explains, and he says like this: since Ne'ilah is the Gemar Din, Ve'im lo achshavei masai. Ve'im lo achshavei masai, Mameli you say Avinu Malkeinu. The Tkiyah at the end of davening, even if it's Shabbos, even if it's Bein HaShmoshes, you still blow. Because the mice it's only it's a shvus, and Bein HaShmoshes like Gazru. Just going to conclude with Havdalah. Two Nakudas that are Nageya, particularly in Havdalah for this year. 3 Nakudas actually. First of all, you start Havdalah this year like a regular Matzah Shabbos. Hine Keli Shuasi. As opposed to a regular year, you start by Hagafen. Besamim, as we mentioned earlier, is a machloikis. These are machloikis. On a regular matzah Yom Kippur, you do not smell besamim. This year, these are machloikis if you smell besamim, and it's mitla tali if these in a neshama yisera. The reason why you smell besamim is because the neshama yisera leaves. So to be meishav nefesh, so you smell the besamim. The shaila is Yom Kippur shechalis b'Shabbos if these in a neshama yisera that left, and male is a machloikis about besamim. Being that it's a machlokes zakta chaya adam, that one should actually smell besamim after Havdalah. You say amavdal, you drink the kais and then you smell the besamim. Meidach, the Aruch HaShulchan, the Matei Ephraim, say that no, it's fine. You don't have to be choshish for hefsek and you smell the besamim during. So Lamai said he's a machlokes. What to do? It's a machlokes. And lastly, Boirim Oirei Eish. We make a Boirim Oirei Eish every Matzah Yom Kippur. We spoke about it last year more by Arichas. You can refer back to that shiur. Why do we make a Boirim Oirei Eish Matzah Yom Kippur? It's different than the reason of Oirei Eish of Matzah Shabbos. Matzah Shabbos is because that's when the fire was created. So Mamela, you light a fire, and this is the fire. Boirim Oirei Eish. Matzah Yom Kippur. Matzah Yom Kippur is the middle of the week. So what does Boirim Oirei Eish? What does it have to do? Now is the fire wasn't created now. Teretz is, what we're saying is that it was Aser on Yom Kippur. You couldn't use the fire, you couldn't cook. It was Aser on Yom Kippur, and now it's Mutter. And Memela, that's why you're supposed to have a Ner Sheshavas to say this fire that was burning on Yom Kippur, we couldn't, and now we could use the fire. Memela b'yasoidai, this Matzah Yom Kippur, b'pashtis, you don't need a Ner Sheshavas. There's always that person has the candle, the 24-hour candle that went out 10 minutes before, and then you have to go to a neighbor to get the fire. So this year, the etzem you don't have to. L'maisa, brought in the Mishmur. The minig olam is lahachmer. Afal pi came, but be'etzim you don't have to, because ba'ir ma'ir reish that you're making this year that it's Yom Kippur shechali is b'Shabbos is a regular matzah Shabbos. These are separate discussion. It's not the time. Maybe if I'm zoicha, maybe it'll be at some point. It'll be available the shiur. But I just want to say these are separate more on the lumdisha side. Why don't we eat a suda Friday night pachas mikashir? The poskim speak about it. We don't, but the shaila is why not. But yet even furthermore, why don't we make an early Shabbos, only be makabel Shabbos, eat a suda, and then afterwards be makabel Yom Kippur to be able to be yotzeh. We mentioned early in the year that you yotzeh kiddush by davening. That's him. You can make a proper kiddush and be yotzeh the suda. A separate discussion. We should be zoicha, all of us, for Gemar Chasima Toiva, Shana Toiva V'rechas, and we should be zoicha to utilize the remaining time of the Seres Yemei Tshuva, Yom Kippur, for Zman Slicha V'Kapara.